Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of Robbie's Backstage Bants. Today, I'm joined by the lovely Sara Jean Ford. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Robbie?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm glad to have you here in the Zoom. Um, so, have you been coping then in all of this horrible time with no theatre or anything?
Oh, good question. How have I been coping? Well, I'm a mom, so I've had to just go into survival mode and make sure that, she sees a mom that actually handles this in a very sane way,
Yeah,
in a very positive way. So I've just been setting an example. And then I've been really busy. I've been writing a lot, and I've written a couple of things, and they will probably have a life once things start opening up again. And
amazing.
yeah, keeping busy, keeping creative is super important. I've been taking voice lessons and obviously teaching, which is what I do when I'm
Yeah,
not acting. Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. That's really good. At least you've kept busy because obviously that this is the hardest time to keep creative and keep busy, and it's
Yeah, yeah. And I just keep saying it's like, I'm used to not having work and not making money, but
yeah.
I'm not used to being able to do what I love and what makes me feel like me. And so that's been the hardest part is just like, but where am I? Who am I? What am I without all of the theater? So I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, we've all felt that one a little bit. So my first couple of questions for you today are about like your journey and how you got to where you are in the industry. So the first question is very, very broad, so you can answer it however you like. It's what is the journey of how you got to where you are today?
Oh, that's a good question. My
Yeah.
grandparents were singers, so I had grandparents in my life that sang like four-part harmony barbershop music, which is like a very American, weird
Yeah.
Americana kind of thing. They both sang. My grandpa was in a barbershop quartet. My grandma was in a Sweet Adeline's quartet, which is the female affiliate. And I
Ooh,
went to all the international conventions with them. I was surrounded by like harmony and a cappella. And
that's amazing.
yeah, so then I started singing, and I lived in the Los Angeles area. So I started um, randomly got into a chorus that like I just went there to sing, but they were like, "Oh, we do background vocals for movies and recording artists." And so I was like,
Wow.
"Okay." And then within like a couple weeks, I was working professionally as like a studio musician, doing like background vocals for the Addams Family Values and let's see what Animaniacs, which is like a fun cartoon, and Michael Jackson and Harry
Whoa.
Connick Jr. So like I was like a little like Hollywood kid. And then I was like, oh wait, I actually want to be in theater. And so I learned how to act and learned how to sing like an adult. And then I went to Carnegie Mellon University, which is a great little school out here, private school in the States. And right after school, I did Wicked, and it was just like, bah, 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 gah, 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 gah. I was in the right place at the right time. I was funny and blonde, and I was following in Madam Kristen Chenoweth's, footsteps. So
Yeah,
that was
that's
my
amazing.
that's the Cliff's notes of my journey.
That was very good and very, very thorough as well.
Thank you.
And the next question is, did you ever have any other career paths in mind, or was it always performing that you wanted to go down?
No, yeah, I was like 8 and I was like, I'm gonna be on Broadway. Yoink, yoink. So I was like always gonna do it. And my family was very supportive. And yeah, I mean, for like a brief second, I thought maybe I would be an opera singer. When I started to sing and I started to discover my coloratura soprano, and everyone was like, this is a rare voice type. And I was like, is it? Oh, okay. So I thought, do I need to do that? And then, I kind of decided like, do I want to go and study, Shakespeare, or do I want to study like German? And I was like, I think I want to study Shakespeare. So
Yeah.
I went that path
Yeah,
instead.
definitely, definitely the best choice as well.
Thank
So
you.
now we're just gonna jump into a bit of a chat about your career. I've got things listed, but if you want to add anything to it, you can do so. This is
Okay.
where it gets really chill. So we can sit back now. It's fine. So obviously the first thing you mentioned, Wicked, that just happened. So what was that experience for you?
Um, it was a fascinating experience because I was right out of school. So I kind of like had like an ego where I was like, oh, I'm the understudy, but they're gonna bump me up to Christine, to Glinda right away. Like I was like, no. And it didn't go that way. And I was like barely put on for Glinda. And after 6 months, I was like, peace out. Like I like just left. So I only did it for 6 months. I just wasn't very happy there. And I think I was like, again, I had a little bit of like an ego chip on my shoulder, and I had a lot to learn. And it was a great first experience, but it was hard. Nothing against not slamming the show. It's a great show.
No.
But it was hard. So I left. That's it.
Fair enough. I don't blame you there. Did you get on for Glinda? How many times did you get on?
4 times.
4. I mean,
it was worth it though. It was definitely worth it. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah. It was real fun. Glinda. I barely remember it, but it was really fun.
first job in the industry, and Glinda.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I think you nailed that one there. The next thing I noted down was how to succeed in business.
Oh yeah, that's a jump.
That's a jump. I'm going in a complete botched order here, but we could deal with that.
Yeah, no. When I was in Phantom, which was right before How to Succeed, I was just like, I love this show and I love playing this role, but it's like not my dream role. I didn't get into this business to play Christine, which a lot of young women do, and good for them. Like, yes, do it. But I wanted to make people laugh. Something I didn't mention is that my grandpa was also somewhat of a comedian. And so that's really what I wanted to do. So I was always just putting it out there. I want to do something that's like comedic and like that can just sort of like chew the scenery. And so I left Phantom willingly. I was like, thank you for everything, goodbye. And I left it to go be unemployed and go to sort of search for that next gig. And it was Smitty, the like wily secretary in How to Succeed. And it was great. I got to do it with Michael Urie, who has become a dear friend of mine, and Nick Jonas, who is, is Nick Jonas, and Bo Bridges was a wonderful actor. I worked with Michael Park, really good people, really, really awesome people.
Yeah,
so,
amazing. I bet that was a great experience. Broadway's back September.
That's what they say.
Fingers crossed. Everything there. Now, obviously, you mentioned Phantom. That is a massive, massive show. So, what was that whole thing going into Phantom, knowing how big of a show it was?
Well, I said it wasn't like my dream role, but when I was like 19, I was like on an East Coast trip with my best friend, and we were like strolling through the aisles of some show or some store, and I was like, I'm going to be Christine in Phantom of the Opera. It's going to be my first role I do in New York City or on Broadway. And she was like, okay. And I like had like a premonition. So it's always sort of like been there as like I could do that. And I think I liked the idea that she's like Christine is she's a character that's not like me at all. She's a pawn. She sort of just blows in the wind. These are literal notes that come from the creative team.
Wow.
She waves in the wind. She's neither here nor there. And I'm like, that's a lot to play as an actor. Thank you. It's hard. So I think making her a real human that like was living and breathing and like just feeling this sort of empathy was a really fun challenge for me. And it really, I went to school and I trained in a great program, but Christine strangely taught me how to act because it was the first time I was doing something 6 times a week, not 8 times a week, but 6 times a week like night after night for 18 months. So I think, it was a great thing for me. And also the company, the Phantom like family, they have helped me out in so many amazing ways. And, it's been a great thing to have in my life, a really great thing.
Was that really vocally challenging for you to do that and sustain it that many shows a week, or did you find it quite a breeze? Was it easy?
At first, I had to really sort of like dig my heels into that and like find her in my voice. She came naturally, but like any sort of thing that like requires that much stamina definitely does require you to like sort of play. So I think it took me like a good 3 or 4 months to kind of get her in my body. And now it's weird because like I could take 2 years off from the show and go back in to fill in for a leave of absence, and it's just there. It's like muscle memory is a wild thing. It's really wild.
That is mad.
Yeah. So she's there. she lives there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, would you go back then? Would you go back again?
I have been back. I'm,
Been back many times.
yeah. And I came back into the ensemble, actually. I came back into the original track that I started in, made my Broadway
Oh,
debut in, right around the time I was going through a divorce. And it was like a really, personally hard time. And I reached out to them and I was like, hey, anything? And they were like, well, not Christine, because you're too old. And I was like, okay. And
whoops.
they didn't say I was too old, but they kind of did. And that's okay. Sure. I guess what? I'm old. And I was like, yeah, I'll go back to the ensemble. Are you kidding me? Like, I have a job. Yes. And it was great. I didn't even want to, I was like, I'm not gunning it for the role. I'm not like trying to be Christine
No.
anymore. I was there to like collect my paycheck, get my health insurance, and be surrounded by amazing people and get to sing pretty music and
Yeah,
go on for Christine every now and then and be like, ding, here I am. It was
I'm
fun.
back.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I would fill in a heartbeat, but I'm more interested in like I would love to play like, you know, Madame Giry. I would love to like sink my teeth into Carlotta, although I'd have to go back into training for that because she hits like D's nonstop.
It's a bit of an exhausting one.
Yeah.
Is there any other shows that you want to mention before we mention the big meow? Is there anything?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I've done other ones. I did a little night music, which was a lovely transfer that came over. And I did the Fantastics off Broadway. That was my first show in New York, and it was truly wonderful experience as well. It also taught me how to act. No, I don't really know if I need to mention anything else. It's just
Well, here it is, Cats, right? Okay. That show is challenging. It's a hard show
yes.
to start. That's the first thing I can say.
Yeah.
How did you find that physically then? Was that a challenge for you? Or were you just stroll on in there and be like, right, I'm done?
Well, I don't consider myself to be a technically amazing dancer.
Neither.
I can like fill a line for like 3 seconds, and then like, but you asked me to go from one to the next to the next. I'm like, what? It's always been a challenge for me. Moving my body has always been a challenge. I've always felt very awkward and kind of like just like gangly and long, and I finally have like found that like it works for me like as an actor, and it's okay to be awkward in your body. But yeah, at that time, I don't know. I had a 2-year-old at home. I was a newly single mom. I was like, I just moved into my own place with her. It was a wild. I was sort of living on like an amazing high though. Like I had like so much adrenaline. I was just like, I will conquer the world. And so a mixture of that, and then having my best friend Tyler Haynes in the show with me, whom I've known for 20 years now. When we got the show, we just like got on the phone and cried, and then laughed and cried some more. And we were just so excited. So, and he helped me so much. I'd be like, I don't get this one part of choreography. And we would like go in the room, and he'd be like the mean ballet teacher. And he'd be like, again. And I was like, oh, okay. He drilled me. And yeah, so physically it was very hard. I've never done anything that hard in my life. And I cried a lot in rehearsal. I cried a lot. But I got through it. It feels like I went to war with those people. Like the bond we share is good. It's
went to war.
True. It's true. Yeah. So
firstly, I mean, obviously Tyler did that series on Broadway.com, which was incredible. It's great that you've got friends like that in the industry that you know, and you go into jobs together, and it is fun. How do you maintain physical health in the sense that you're doing that so much all the time? How do you keep your body from aching every day?
Yeah, that I put out like a Facebook post during rehearsals. I was like, so dancer friends, your bodies are always hurting, ? And I got like 100 responses. Everyone just being like, work, yes, girl, don't tell me back. Like it was just like nonstop. I didn't know. Yeah, it's like it's a lifestyle change, and that was what was fascinating to me because I was not a crazy dancer going in.
Neither.
And so I was like, oh, okay, like I um I have to like be in physical therapy every week, and I have to be in acupuncture every week, and I have to get some sort of massage therapy or just be rolling out all the time. So I have like big rollers, and I would go home and roll for a half hour. And baths and ice baths and all sorts of things. I was just kind of constantly hurting. I also couldn't like keep weight on. And so hold on, my dog is, oh, you can go out, bud. You can go. Welcome to my home. And so yeah, I was constantly like, oh yeah, I'm just like in pain all the time. I don't know. That was it. So, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I would just eat cookies like all the time. It was great.
I like that. That is a good aspect of it. Just eat what you want. It's cats.
Yeah, cookies and coffee.
The
That's
cat
all I
diet.
had.
It's a very good
Yeah.
cat diet, in fact.
It's really good for you too. It's really good for you.
I bet. It's great. And did you get to meet the big Andrew, or did that not happen? You did.
Yeah. I hadn't met him, so I had done his show obviously for years, but I never met him. We just had never crossed paths, and
No.
I worked more with Hal Prince when I did Phantom, so I didn't really get to ever work with Andrew. But I met him in the audition, and he, stood up and shook my hand and thanked me for being in his show for many years. And then yeah, of course I got it. I mean, yeah, and then after Cats, like I didn't really, after rehearsal, I didn't really talk to him that much.
No.
It's so interesting because he said such nice things about me and Christopher Gurr in an interview. Christopher Gurr, who played Gus the Theater Cat, he said that it was the best Gus the Theater Cat that's ever happened, and I was like, well,
That's
it was
an honor.
nice to hear that from you, sir, but sure. I was like, tell me about it. Could you tell me a person? Like, could we like have a cup of coffee or, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. I'm actually one of those Broadway.com videos. I like told Tyler that I was going to go try to talk to Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I chickened out like in the video. So it's just me like with him in the background. And I like keep wanting to go up and talk to him, but I just couldn't do it.
I would be the same, just no.
Yeah.
Andrew, no. But I bet he's a nice guy. I mean, never spoken to him personally myself, but I can imagine he's quite the guy.
He puts out good things. That's what I'll say.
He really does. He really, really does. And obviously there was the changes in your production. It was quite fresh. Was Andrew sort of there for the process of that more than anything?
Yeah, he was. I mean, that there was like a whole new bit of music that all the ladies learned, that it was a McCavity thing. I can't remember how it went. It was a really weird tight harmony. McCavity or something. I don't know. Wow. I forget how it went because we never recorded it.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah. He wrote that in the room, and he kind of changed some stuff. And then I wasn't sure if he was really happy with it. So when we opened, or we did the first preview, he was like very worried. And then when we got through the first preview, and the audience was like treating it like it was like a Rolling Stones concert, and it was just like, like he was like, oh wait, maybe I do like it. And then we're like, okay.
Maybe it is a masterpiece. Yeah,
but it's hard, like when there was a new voice on it with Andy Blankenbuehler being the new voice, like he just wanted to make it better is what he was just like, okay, let's do it, and then let's make it better. But that was a hard job to have. So
100%. Long days, but
yes,
you guys obviously smashed it. I wish there was a cast recording. That's the one thing.
I know. Yeah, we were all sort of hoping for it, because we were like, well, there's so much new stuff, and
we were robbed.
Yeah. Thank you.
For Andrew to then say that it was the best Gus the Theatre Cat and not have it on a CD. What is going on?
I know. Who knows?
Graceful.
He likes to have one recording of things. So he likes to have like that. Phantom has like never really been.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I bet he's got a recording of you doing it. He will have. I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, and like they can always like record from the soundboard.
Yeah.
And
Andrew's definitely been bootlegging his show.
Yeah, totally.
Andrew. Yeah. So now let's move on to the fans' questions.
Oh, there are
Some
fans.
questions
I'm
from the
excited.
fans.
Oh
Of
my.
course. I know. So Emily's asked, what was the audition process like for Phantom?
Ooh, well, I went in once before. I was doing the Fantastics both times. So I was in Fantastics, and I think yeah, I went in for Phantom before, and I kind of was like, I had to sing "Think of Me." The packet they give you is "Think of Me," "Wishing You're Somehow Here Again," and then the dressing room scene with Raoul, but it's all spoken. So you're like, the angel of music, sing songs in my head. Like it's like not sung. It's really weird. And it's like,
Whoa.
it's a real recipe for bad acting, which is probably why they give it to you. Because it's just like, so I did that audition and I didn't do well. Like I kind of was like, I kind of went in being like, what do you need? What I can do anything. What do you need? I kind of came in with that, like, I can do a lot of things. What do you need? And then the next time I went in, I was like, nah, I went, I had a friend that was in the show. They snuck me in. I sat on the stairs. I watched the show. I studied it. I did her blocking, and then I did the, like, Think of Me, which I did all the material the next time I went in. And I kind of did what she did. And they said, you're very, what did they say? You're very well studied or very well something, like they knew that I had like taken stuff. But I kind of made stuff my own. And then they were like, can you sing a song from your book, my audition book, that's like so wrong for Phantom? And I was like, what? Like funny? And they were like, yeah, like something funny. I'm like, do you want to like hear like funny, like glitter and be gay, like crazy funny? Or do you, and they were like, nothing soprano-y. Can you like belt? And I was like, oh, okay. So I sang this song called The Last Song, which is by Goldrich and Heisler. And it's funny, it's a stupid song. And they loved it. And then they were like, when are you getting out of your contract for the Fantastics? And I was like, oh, I might get this. And so, yeah. And then I think there was like they weren't sure if they were going to put me in Vegas or they were going to put me on Broadway. And I was just like, I just want to be on Broadway. Just like
Broadway.
So, yeah. And so then that was my Broadway debut. And it was only supposed to be for 3 months, just to leave a fill of, absence, filling the absence. And then I went on the tour and did that for like a month. And then from there, they offered me the role. And then I did the role on the tour. And then that's
amazing.
The story.
That's you, just always in Phantom.
Yeah.
You'll never not be in Phantom. You'll always be in Phantom.
Yeah. It's a cool thing.
It's definitely your show, I think, at this point.
Thank you.
The next question is from Chloe. And Chloe's asked, what was your favorite song to perform in Cats?
My favorite song to perform in Cats. I mean, it's going to have to be my song.
It's going to be.
I mean, I was always like sort of like a Cats. That's an interesting show. And then when I got that role when I got that audition for that role, I was like, oh, this is like the coolest moment in the show. So I had a great time because I got to tell a new story every night about Gus, the theater cat. And her and I are in love, and we like on and off stage. And the relationship that we created together is one of the most dearest, specialist on-stage relationships I've ever. Best acting partner ever. There would be times where I would like go to look at him in the song, and I would like go like, it's time for you to sing now. And he would give me a new response every night. So, one night he was like, I got this. Every now and then he'd be like, I got this, Jilly Lorem, and now I'm going to sing. One night he looked at me like he was senile, like he had Alzheimer's, and he didn't know what was happening, and he got scared. And I was like, it's okay. And then my eyes were filled with tears. I mean, we loved playing together.
That is incredible.
Yeah, we had a good time. And I got to talk to all the kittens, and like just make eye contact with them and have little moments. I loved it. It was great.
Oh, that is. I wish I was there. I would come watch. Bring it back.
Yeah, come be a kitten.
I'll be a
Tom Tiger.
I can't take Tyler's job off him again. Kill me. The next question is from Jamie, and Jamie's asked, who is your favorite cat besides Jelly? You're not allowed to pick your own.
Monkey Strap.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be the cat that I would want to be if I wasn't Jelly. I don't want to be a monkey strap. I want a female monkey strap. Come on.
Let's do it.
It's like so supposed to already happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's happened in our minds. We should do that.
Nothing in the writing specifies that it has to be man.
No. Well, there you go.
There it is.
It's the same way they made old Deuteronomy Judi Dench.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about that version. Okay. Olivia has asked, what was your favorite thing about playing Christine?
Olivia?
Yeah.
Hi, Olivia. Let's see. Playing Christine. I guess like the relationships I had with everybody, and just like creating those relationships. The different phantoms and everyone, when they would say every phantom would say, Christine, I love you, a different way. And I always felt differently about leaving them. So
wow.
When I did it with Howard McGillen, who's I think one of the longest running phantoms on Broadway, and he's like gold. He's gold of a human. I felt like I was leaving, like that one felt more fatherly. Like I felt like I was leaving my and then when I left like Hugh Panaro, I felt like I was leaving like my soulmate. When I left Norm Lewis, I felt like I was leaving a sad grown man baby. There were different ones. There was and there was one, a John Kudia. I felt like I was leaving like a lustful, most sensual thing ever. Everyone was different. It was wild, and that was I think it always comes back to like relationships and like what we create on stage and like how special it can be.
It's got to be the chemistry, definitely. The next question is from Grace, and Grace says, this is a statement first, then a question. You've returned to Phantom a few times. Would you ever return to Cats?
Oh, well, hi, Grace. Well, I did return to Cats. I left Cats.
You left and you came back.
I left and I came back, which was crazy. I left for like a long time. I left for like 9 months, and I did a show in Canada called Susatska, and it was supposed to come to Broadway, and it didn't. I came back. I was unemployed for a bit, and then I found out my track was opening back up in Cats, and I was like, I gotta get a job. So I went back in, and then I was like, what did I do? My body. Oh. And I started to die a little bit. I don't know if I would go back into Cats. Right now, I'm sort of in that place where I'm like, I would love to work, and I need insurance, and I need, like, we don't have, in America, if we don't work, we don't get insurance. We don't have any health. So I have no health insurance right now.
No health.
I just hope I don't die one day.
That would be unfortunate.
Rolling the dice. Yeah, that's America. Heyo.
Lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I would go back to Cats, but I think that's the other thing. Like, what if I hurt myself? I don't know. Anyways. I'm also 40, guys. Like, I can't be rolling around on the ground like a cat. Cut to a year later, and I'm like,
I'm back. Jelly's back. Yeah.
Who knows?
That's definitely going to happen. And the last fans question is from our Jelly Lorem, Lucy. And Lucy's asked, how did you deeply understand the character of Jelly Lorem, and what sort of mannerisms helped you to bring her character to life?
Ooh, what's her name again?
Lucy.
Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Congratulations on your Jelly Loremness. I think understanding her, she is like a nurse. I think she's a very empathetic person who I think reads people and knows what they need before they need it. And she's always checking in, and she's like super aware of people's body language or Cat's body language and every move. And you just have to like take your spotlight and put it right on them. And I think the most important thing about her is keeping Gus up, holding Gus up. And so if you do that, there's sort of like a magical theater trick where like you shine your light so brightly on your scene partner that the light finds you, you know? And so then the audience is like, I understand her. That's me. I get that person. I know that person, you know? So it's a magical thing of theater where you shine your light and then the light shines and you don't even have to worry about shining for the audience. You do that all by yourself. And so I think that's something that's a part of Jelly Lorem. And then I think also me and Tyler and Chris and a lot of the original cats from that revival company in Broadway, we created like a big backstory. And you know, Tyler and I were young kittens together with Grisabella. Grisabella's like kind of like my sister, and she like stole the love of my life, which is why I don't like her. Because otherwise, I like everyone. I take care of everyone. I'm like the auntie of the whole thing. And Tugger does. We would get in fights on stage, and then we'd make up. And like we had so many things. So I think just having like backstory to like sort of fill all of the moments, understanding your relationships to everyone, really understanding your relationship to Grisabella, why you're so angry, what it is that makes you turn and forgive her. Think about forgiveness in your life. Think about empathy in your life, how it affects you. Those are my Jelly Lorem to Jelly Lorem. Collecting notes.
And jelly to jelly.
From jelly to jelly.
I love that. No, that was incredible. And the whole that's a great way to understand characters and to think the full backstory. That is, thank you very much.
It's all Trevor Nunn. That's what he wanted always, was to really understand the backstory. So yeah.
Definitely. So you've made it to this point. The little quiz on how well you know cats. It's time. It's time. So I've actually, in brackets, and I never do this, so you're very lucky, added little clues, only to one question, but you've got a clue. Oh, it's not even a clue. It's more of a, this might help.
Okay.
The first one, and I've changed it to the Broadway cast recording just for you. How many songs are in the original Broadway cast recording? And here is your little in brackets. There is a weird Glamour Cat plus Memory medley in there that I discovered today, and I've never realized is there before.
I would never know this. 20, 21.
21.
Really? Yay! That's weird. I would never know.
That was very good. I had written there as well that Growl Tiger is there and Peaks and Follicles isn't, which is different to your production, right?
Yeah, that was one that Andrew Lloyd Webber was really adamant about cutting.
Oh, really?
He really wanted to cut it. Yeah, and I was like, it's fine. It's just my song. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I was just gonna show off in that one. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, we had Peaks and Follicles.
But with Gus.
Yeah,
I've read up. You see.
You have.
I do my research. The next question should be easy for you. What does Gumby Cat teach the mice? There is 3 things that she teaches the mice.
Oh yeah. I have no idea. We teach.
She teaches them.
She teaches them. Magish, 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 magoo do. We teaches them. I have no idea what it is. She teaches them. I don't think she says it. I don't say it. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's music.
Music and swagging and knitting.
Music, crocheting, and tatting. Music and something and knitting is definitely the right answer in that. Okay. Hey, you got the first one. Nobody ever gets the first one, so that's fine. These next few are pretty easy. It's because I can't really write quizzes very well. It's just who are a notorious couple of cats?
Rumple Teaser, Rumple Shanks and Rumple Teaser.
Rumple Teaser is one of them.
McCavity? No. Mungo Jerry.
Yay! Mungo Jerry.
Teaser. Yes.
McCavity and Rumple Teaser. Yeah.
By the way, Tyler Haynes floated the idea that him and I should learn the entire Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser and just do it as Rum Tum Tugger and Jelly Lorem for the company. He was like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna learn the cartwheel. It's gonna be great. I was like, no,
You should have done that. That fits though. Rum Tum Tugger and Jelly Lorem. Yeah.
Jelly Lorem. Yeah.
I think that should have been done. That needs to be done. When you can see Tyler again, get it done.
All right. Well, I'll learn it.
It's in demand. We want that. The next question is a bit too easy. I kind of shame on me for writing this one. Who wrote the music for Cats?
Is that guy? Andrew Lloyd, Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber.
It was actually Stephen Sondheim. No, I'm joking. It is Angela Webber.
I got it wrong.
And of course, the last one is, what is Cats based off of?
T.S. Eliot, T.S. Eliot's possibly, I have I have it in there somewhere.
That's right.
What is it? Old Possum's Book of Cats. Jellicle Cats.
Practical Cats. Yeah, you were there. You were there with that. That was right.
Symmetrical Cats. I don't know.
Yes. And then the last few things. First thing is doing these things. I'm also trying to raise a bit of money for Acting for Others, which is a little charity that supports performers and techies and stage crew in a time like this when everything's closed and it's all a bit of a mess. So if anyone wants to donate, there'll be a link in the description and you can do that. There has been some donations and I thank you all for putting them in after listening to me ramble for 40 minutes sometimes, even longer even. I don't know how people can cope. I'm really sorry. And then the other thing is to make sure you follow my socials, which will be in the description, and then you'll find out who's going to be up next, because otherwise you wouldn't have found out about this one. So get down there and go follow me. And if you're bored, give me a message. I respond. It's because I've got nothing to do anymore. And finally, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and learning all of your fantastic techniques and about your career. It's been so much fun.
Thank you. I've had a good time too, Robbie. Thanks for thinking.
Anytime. And thanks for watching, anybody who's watched. And I will see you in the next one.